On this mileage unknown, it's like Groundhog Day. We are working on my 66 Volkswagen Fastback all over again, still trying to get the brakes figured out on this one. So if you guys remember when I got this thing, it had sat since probably the mid-90s. So far we've replaced all the calipers, all the soft lines. We've flushed the system multiple times. We replaced the master cylinder, wheel cylinders, and all the shoe kits and springs in the rear. But we were still having an issue where the system wasn't building pressure at all. And so we've taken out the master cylinder, and I have another one. Now, if you guys haven't seen some of the Volkswagen master cylinders, they are definitely a little different looking. Now, on the 66 Type 3, it was the first year Volkswagen did disc brakes on the car, but still used a single circuit master cylinder. Now, normally I would have upgraded to a dual circuit because the single circuit is super hard to find and very expensive for these. But if you look, this right here is my AC condenser. Although my brother thinks I'm crazy and I'm never going to get the AC working again, once we get this installed, you'll see how tight of a fit this master cylinder actually is in there, which because of that condenser, there's no way we would be able to upgrade to a dual circuit master cylinder on this one. So we're going to actually get the car jacked up, put up on jack stands, and go to work. All right, guys, so we've got this all hooked up now, and you can see how tight this master cylinder actually fits up against that condenser. So we've got to, we're going to check the pedal play really quick, and then we're going to go underneath, hook up the brake lines, and I'll show you the kind of the process we're going to do right there. But that's why we can't put a dual circuit master cylinder in here. It just won't fit. So inside the car, when I was talking about checking the pedal free play, is you got to feel how much the pedal moves before it engages with the master cylinder. And you should have about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and I think we're good on this. We've also already got the rear brakes fully adjusted, so right now it's just hooking up the brake lines underneath the car, and I will climb under there and show you what we got. All right, so here we are under the Fastback. You can actually see the condenser and the fan there. It's a little sketchy and makes everything super tight to deal with. So if you look, there's our master cylinder and lines. I'm going to get those hooked up, and I'll show you the process that we're going to do to try and let some fluid out before we really start bleeding the car. So far, working on the Fastback today has not necessarily gone to plan. Not sure how much of the video that we actually shot of us trying to get the brake lines and everything will be used. A lot of it was time lapse, but I tell you what, we actually had to pull the master cylinder back out just to make sure that it was correct and the lines were going to go into it, and it was pretty much a nightmare. We've probably spent a good hour or more fiddling with the lines, actually trying to get them back into the car. We do actually have everything hooked up. We ended up having to remove the hard line from the driver's side just to get the master cylinder fitted, but Finally got everything in. What we're going to do is I'm actually going to crack each one of those lines individually and let it drip for a little bit. So we'll crack one, let it drip, tighten it, crack one, let it drip, tighten it, crack one, let it drip, tighten it before we even go to bleeding the brakes. Well, we've cracked all the lines, we've let them drip, and now I'm going to actually just push the brake pedal by hand a few times, nice and easy. Here's the thing, this master cylinder was a old NOS master cylinder. Who knows how long it's been on the shelf, and you really don't want to just get in here and pump the crap out of these things. You don't know how dry some of the seals might be, which is partially why we crack the lines, let some fluid run through it, and just kind of let them soak. But I'm going to just push by hand real easy a few times. Now, so the thing that's worrying me already, there's really no pedal. You would hope that we would have a little bit of pedal at this point, but we're going to go through and do our bleed process, and I don't know. There probably won't be much video of that because you guys have already seen us bleed the brakes on this one a bunch of times. So we'll bleed the brakes and see what we come out with. Well, it's official. I would love to say that the Fastback has brakes. Unfortunately, this is a complete fail. We were actually getting pedal. It was starting to pump up, and I was hopeful for a split second, and went to pump up, and it was building some pressure, and I could actually just feel almost like a seal blew out in the master cylinder, and we can't get it to build pressure again. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of on me. I had bought a NOS old master cylinder, and we did everything we could as far as trying to get everything lubed up to make sure that we were going to be all right on that one. But unfortunately, it didn't work. So now I've got to buy another master cylinder. We've got to do this again. I promise you, I won't make another video of brakes on this one. Now, we do have to do some brakes on some other cars and get some other cars on the road, or for something nicer to look at. There's my brother's 55 3-fold rag, and that car you might see in some videos. And then there's my brother's 73 thing, which will probably show up in some other videos, with my pops leaning on it and my brother sitting in it. We're all feeling a little defeated from the brakes on the Fastback. So we're going to throw the wheels back on. I'm going to order up another master cylinder, and we're going to hope for the best on the next one. Hopefully next time you see this car, it'll actually be driving.